affiliated with him in any way, shape, or form. I've actually blocked him from my site, and if you could please, untag me, and, for anybody in the future, just know that, I don't have any dealings with that guy, and I don't wish to be tagged to his stuff. That's it. Those words exactly. If anybody you read are following what I do and what I post, that's pretty much how I went. Well, for some reason, this individual took that as a threat, I guess, and took it as I don't know. It's almost like he took it as a threat and an insult by the things he said. So if any of you guys, have that individual on your list and you're friends with both of us, well, I'm not trying to be an evil guy, but when somebody goes ahead and stirs up for a reaction, I'm more amused by it than anything. I mean, some of the things he said, quite honestly, they angered more people, more of my friends, than it actually angered me, because I just consider the source and I know the meaning behind all this stuff. So, on Christmas, I wish that guy nothing but, health and wealth, because he's a fellow human being. Do I like him? No. Am I put off by the things he said? Well, yeah, of course, But am I trying to hurt him back by the song I wrote? By some of the things I've said? No, not necessarily. I just feel like, you get what you give, to an extent. I won't go as far as somebody, I won't stoop that low anyway. But I've been trashed, demeaned, and called out, pretty much. And, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to anybody's house that's twice my age. You know what I mean? Or got 10 years on me. And I'm going to throw down with them over something that's stupid. Because that's not where I was going with it. I didn't have a problem with this guy. My problems were done when I blocked this dude and disconnected from him. He seemed to create a problem himself, and then he didn't like whatever retorts I said back. So I feel like it's his problem more than anything. However, guy comes at me, well, I'll defend myself, obviously. But hurting anybody, fighting anybody, and demeaning anybody is not really my focus. But you mess with a songwriter, and you get me thinking, and you fire me up, well, don't be surprised if a song comes out that pertains to the situations I'm feeling at hand, And I think I write songs that could pertain to a million different subjects, and that one, that particular song, I think a lot of people can identify with it. So, as I say, I write about the world and everything in it, and the way it affects me. So yeah, I'm not losing any sleep over any trash this guy talked, and I'm definitely not on no vindictive, settle the score kind of thing at all. He wanted to be amusing, so he wanted to go that way, so I went that way. And I'm sure in time it'll be the furthest thing from my memory at any point. But I just wanted to bring it out there because I don't feel good about having bad blood with anybody. Apparently this fellow felt threatened by somebody not wanting to be connected with him, which is a sad thing. I'm not threatened. I don't care. I don't care. If you wanna be my friend, you be my friend. If you don't, you don't.
Thank you.
And if you tell people publicly, I don't like that guy, I don't want to be his friend.
Girl too.
I don't care. I'm not going to go and say all kinds of stuff about your music or your job or your wife or your credibility and want to fight you over it. I mean, which is what this guy kind of more or less did unto me. So, whatever. I mean, there's always a few lumps in the brownies, I guess, so to speak. If his cheese ain't sitting straight on his cracker, that's his problem, not mine. So anyways, moving on. Only good thoughts tonight for people and staying positive. But I addressed it. So, so who got a fruitcake this holiday season?
More like a fruit brick.
You know what's kind of funny is, for years, my dad always used that expression. I mean, I think everybody has heard that. Oh, he's a fruitcake. You know what I mean? But, I got to tell you, honestly, I never really seen one until, recently. And
Have you actually eaten one?
I don't think, no.
I don't think I can with my dentures up my top
well,
plate, but
I'm
it's
a
really
toothless
hard.
redneck. I don't think I can eat any fruitcake.
Oh, goodness. Just the taste.
I mean, if I threw it in the blender. But
I think it's
whatever.
an acquired taste for some people, depending on how people make it. If they make them, traditional, which is really hard, they probably last a long time.
With anything, I mean, there's probably all different ways of making it. It's like my mother's galumpies. I love those, but I can't stand too many other galumpies, Shepherd's pie, all that stuff. But yeah, I remember being in the store and seeing a fruitcake for the first time. It was kind of funny. It was just like, wow, But I hear they're rather good, and they're a big tradition. It's kind of funny that I'd never seen one. Imagine that. I guess I am a redneck.
Just to let you know, Matt Johnston on Facebook, he's out of Halifax, Nova Scotia, just liked your thing. I'm not sure if he's tuning in right now. If he is,
Oh, really?
say a big
What's his
hello.
name?
Matthew Johnston.
Matthew Johnston.
If you're listening out there in Nova Scotia, up there in Canada, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Hey, yeah, man, we're kind of sabbatical a little bit because I'm pretty much French-Canadian.
You gave me an empty tube.
Well, let me see, I'll roll it for you. My grandmother, on my mother's side, or was it my great-grandmother? I think it was my great-grandmother on my mother's side, was full-blood, 100% Iroquois chief's wife, I heard, through the grapevine. And my grandpa, on my dad's side, he was French all the way. He was a Frenchman.
You have a long line of reels, by the way, in East Hampton.
So what do they call it, a Canuck? I guess I'm
Yeah.
pretty Canuck. And, yeah, I've always gotten along real well with Canadian people.
You know what I find very interesting? I can't trace a lot of my family roots because we're so spread out. It's like water or Heinz 57. But when I go with you to see your family in the cemetery right on Holyoke Street, I see people from generations ago. And then recently you see all those photos that your uncle and your dad have shared with us. It's pretty darn amazing to see these people in real life and know that that's their grave and that's where they're buried. And it's like, it's something for our son, legacy.
Oh, yeah.
For him to know, where his roots come from.
Gotta
And this
find
town
out
of East
where's
Hampton,
it
this town of East Hampton for you guys, it's just amazing. Most people don't know where their roots or their family come from, but on your dad's side, it's pretty deep here in this town.
Yeah, my grandfather built his first house about a mile away from where I sit right now.
Your dad's mom,
On my dad's side.
that's Rossicott or Roscoe. They call
No,
them?
that's the reals.
Oh, the reals.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You want to tell a story?
Go ahead.
See, you were bickering on Christmas Eve.
Oh, no,
I'm only joking.
Honey, your other grandfather's a stone throw away where he built the house. I didn't know that. On Ducharme.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Or, what's that called?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, but he wasn't. He was a carpenter. That's different. That was on my mother's side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But my grandfather on my dad's side, he raised my dad. I think he had my dad. When was my dad born? 34?
35.
35. So
Both your mom
when
and
was the
your dad.
Depression?
33.
33.
33 to 35 probably.
Well, they were still hurting.
Probably Joe, you.
So I remember my grandfather and my father telling me a story about a house he built, which is only literally, not even a mile from where I sit right here. is where my dad was brought up. My grandfather built a house out of a chicken coop that he got somewhere for all his kids to live in. My dad was, I think he was the oldest, didn't he?
Yes, he would have been the actual oldest, but that.
So during the Depression, my grandfather in this town that I live in built his house out of a chicken coop that he got from somewhere. And, he put a stove in it. And I remember talking with Granddad and him telling me, because you look at the house now, I mean, it's a weird-looking house, even today. But, and I've actually talked to the man that lives in it, and I freaked him out because I told him some stuff that only somebody would know that knew, you know what I mean? Like, my grandfather told me he got the chicken coop, he put a wood stove in it, and started raising his family. They had an outhouse and a well and the whole 9 yards. I mean, they lived, like, back in the little house in the prairie. My dad didn't have electricity growing up. I mean, he did his homework by an oil lamp, and he still has the oil lamp. It's funny, he's gonna pass it on to me when he passes on. And maybe that's why I like oil lamps. I collect them. I got them all over the house. But anyways, my grandfather used to tell me all about the chicken coop, and the chicken coop, he built it over time, recovering from the Depression. And he once told me, if you ever get a chance to go in that house, Edu, he always called me Edu, I don't know why,
Just Polish.
Yeah, he wasn't Polish. My grandmother was.
Yeah, his wife was.
Yeah, his wife. He used to say, yeah, you'll notice the floor in there. It's all little tiny hardwoods. He goes, but it'll last forever because it's really thick. And I said, really? And he says, yeah. And he goes, because I got all those boards out of the Northampton bowling alley when they tore it down or rebuilt it. He goes, I went and got all the boards for free, and that's how he laid his hardwood floor in there. And then later on, he built a chimney for the wood stove rather than just piping it. And he told me that there was a block of a Model T as the footing underneath that chimney that somebody would find someday. And one time I was out for a walk with my wife and my son, and we were going by a dude's house, the house now, and the dude was out in the yard, and I said, how you doing? And he says, pretty good, a nice day. And I said, yeah. And I said, hey, you know what? My grandfather built that place, back in the 30s. And he says, really? And I said, yeah. He goes, would that be Larry? So he had already heard all the stories. And I said, yep. And I started telling him, some of the things. And he goes, I always wondered about that. And he goes, the odd floorboards. And I go, yeah, you got out of the bowling alley. So the roots run deep here in this town for me. So that's kind of cool. But I don't know why I'm talking about that,
Did you tell him where the floor came from?
I just did that.
Oh, you did? Okay, I thought you did. I thought I heard that in my subconscious.
Where are you?
I'm on here trying to figure out who's listening. By the way, you have...
Oh, my God.
I know. You have...
You're funny.
I'm doing my statistics. You have
and
5...
she's not sipping any eggnog or punch
No,
today.
just my coffee. We have 5 live listeners right now and 6 on demand, which have heard the previous recordings that we've done, and we've done like 4 of them already.
Nice, right on.
Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not paying attention. I am, but it's soaked up in there. But I remembered that part.
You're funny. I'm like telling the whole story about the floor. Like, did you tell them about the floor yet? I'm like, what the hell is in your coffee?
See, see what our relationship's like.
I like that top.
Yeah.
Yeah. You normally do that.
I know, right?
Jesus.
Well, it's getting warmer out, so that's good.
Oh,
I heard it's supposed to be close to 60 degrees tomorrow.
So you do that with... I'm going to turn the heat all the way up. I'm going to crank the thermostat so you can run around.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Yeah. It looks like fruitcake. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness.
Now, that was funny. See, the Redneck's pretty funny, too. I guess people tell me I'm funny even though I don't try to be, but
It's just your nature.
I don't think it's funny. Sometimes I think I'm am I still on? We're just not going on iHeart.
I don't know. You better watch the bombs there.
The bombs?
Yeah.
All right.
No F-bombs, no SH bombs.
Watch out. You got a cat that's going to fall on your back on that.
Oh, she loves me. She's practically sleeping on my shoulder. She loves it. She loves this. She loves your stories so much she's sleeping right behind me on the ottoman. We put the ottoman on.
She likes it when I sing.
Up high, and she's sleeping on it.
Yeah.
I love Millie.
I think the cat thinks my guitars are hers. She goes over and licks them and grooms them and rubs on them. And when I do string changes, no matter where that cat is, it's the damnedest thing. It'll come from whatever room, and